For those that have been following my masses very closely, you might again recognize some of the things that we have talked about in St. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. Obviously, the idea of wisdom, which we covered a couple days ago in chapter 2. You know how there's a big difference between God's wisdom and human wisdom, and St. Paul continues to touch upon that. Let him become a fool so to become wise. Let him be fool in terms of human wisdom so that they can embrace God's divine wisdom, and then they will be truly, truly wise. There's the foundation for the teaching on humility right there. To humble yourself, to know that your ways, my ways are not always the best, and that God's ways are always the best. But it's the last line that of this passage that I think is new to us, that I want to kind of talk about briefly for a moment. So let no one boast about human beings, for everything belongs to you. Paul or Apollos or Cephas or the world or life or death or the present or the future, all belong to you. All belong to you. Why? And you to Christ, and Christ to God. So I touched upon this yesterday, for those that weren't here at the Mass yesterday, that in the society that St. Paul's writing to, that Greco-Greek Roman society, there was really a structure of what we call a patron-client relationship, where you had the few elite on the top of the food chain, the wealthy, the powerful, the elite. And then the rest of the majority of the citizens, especially when you get down, there are other classes in between. When you get down to the lower class, you get to the servants and to the peasants. And really how they made their living, how they survived, was that they became a client. They became attached. They belonged to one of the few elites. They would attach themselves to them so that they would see them on a daily basis, and they would do chores, they would do errands, they would do things for the elite, and the elite would then take care of them, whether financially or they would protect them or whatever. That's how they survived. So you had this system of the poor, the peasants, attaching themselves to the elite, and that then spilled over, that way of thinking spilled over into the church of Corinth, where in the church now you had the elite and you had the peasants, and you had the peasants arguing and belonging to a certain member of the elitist class. And that was causing division among the church. As they were saying, one belongs to Paul, one belongs to Apollos, one belongs to Cephas, who is Peter, by the way. And St. Paul said this is all nonsense. That's kind of what we talked about yesterday. And so now St. Paul adds a teaching to that. You say you belong to Paul. You say you belong to Apollos, but everything belongs to you. See, St. Paul is trying to get rid of the division, trying to get rid of those groups and those factions. Everything belongs to. How does everything belong to us? Quite simply, everything belongs to us because we belong to Christ. Christ belongs to God. See, think of the Good Samaritan, not the prodigal son passage in the Gospel of Luke, where the father tells the prodigal son, everything of mine, son, is yours. That's what he tells him. Everything of mine is yours. You've always had it. All of Christ's power and riches and glory, it all belongs to us because we belong to him. Christ, there's no self-consumption with Christ. Everything that he has is ours. He gives it to us. Ask for it. Ask for it. And the things that he has are the things that lead us to eternal life. That's why he wants to share them with us, because that's his mission. Ask for it. It's yours. He wants to give it to you. So don't tell yourself, I can't, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this, yeah, you don't deserve any of it. Let me just cut to the chase. You deserve none of it. I deserve none of it. But Christ wants to give it to you anyways, because you are his. And everything of his is yours. Ask for it. May God bless you.